Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Music Podcast. I have with me today a very, very special guest, the metal cowboy himself, Mr. Ron Keel. It is so great to have you. Ron Keel's journey really got started in 1983 with his band Steeler, got signed to Shrapnel Records, and in 84 he started the band Keel, signed to A&M, selling more than 2 million records at the time. In that time, he was recruited as a singer for Black Sabbath for about 20 minutes, right? He was mentored and produced by Kiss legend Gene Simmons. In 2014, he published his autobiography called Even Keel, Life on the Streets of Rock and Roll. Ron now has his own KRFK radio show and podcast called Streets of Rock and Roll. He recently started his own company, RFK Media. And we're going to talk about all of this. It's so much going on. And he is constantly writing, rehearsing, and playing with the Ron Keel Band. Back in June, they released a song called When This Is Over. And Ron more recently gave his Patreon tribe a sneak peek listen to a new demo for a song that was in the works called Moving Target. And it's this constant activity from this man. We're going to find out about all this recording, a new record, the company, the radio show, all of that stuff. Ron, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been too long.
It has been too long, Scott. Thanks for your patience. I just kept saying, well, let's wait until after this big elephant gets out of the room. And then it was, let's wait till after the Sturgis rally, which we just wrapped up last week. 8 days, 6 shows, actually more than 6 shows, because I got on stage with Tesla on my night off. But I just, I'm sorry for putting it off, and it's great to catch up with you, man. Thank you.
It is so good. It is so good. And on stage with Tesla, of course, Frank Hannon, you've worked with, recorded with before. I just talked to Frank. He's just another great musician guy. So many people that you played with. Is there anything you haven't done yet?
I don't think so, man. And that's the cool thing about my career is I've done a little bit of everything. I'm not sure I've done it all well, but I've been on every side of, every instrument, every style of music, the business, from publishing, writing, producing, now running my own label, and starring in a new feature film as an actor. So I have had a lot of dreams come true, man. I'm very blessed.
Yeah, it's very cool, and it's great to see you active still. Big fan from the early days, and it's a thrill to see you out there still. You posted, and I'm a patron, part of that Patreon tribe, and
I know you are. I appreciate that.
Man, everybody should be. You give so much to that Patreon tribe, all of those people. There's so much there to see, so much of your career, so much of what you're doing now. You put out a post the other day, when the band stopped playing, the aftermath, which is a documentary about the band stopping playing because of COVID. The Let the Music Play was the first one. This is a new one. You appear in it. You talk about it. You didn't really stop playing though, which things were open a little bit around the South Dakota area. You kept playing some shows. Do you think that live music, when it's shut down for that period, it kind of kickstarted the fans' desire a little more? Because I remember, like, the industry was on it. People weren't going to shows so much. Now that we've had a drought for a few years, I see people all over shows. Do you think that might have been the silver lining behind that?
Absolutely, Scott. You don't know what you got till it's gone, until they take something away from you. And especially the first shows back when the mask mandate was lifted and we were able to travel out of state again, those first couple of shows were sold out, and it's been great ever since. The audiences have been hungry for it. And it's a double-edged sword, because so many bands now you're always scared of the cancellations.
Right.
If somebody tests positive, they have to pull the plug.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into that debate or not, but man, I've gone on stage sick a number of times in my life, but I've never canceled a show because of that. Um, but it's great to be back. As you mentioned, I did not stop in 2020. I was one of the few guys I know that actually did a world tour, but we did most of that before the pandemic hit. I came back from Australia literally days before the travel ban was instigated and everybody was locked down. We barely made it home from the Australian tour in 2020.
Yep.
And we, as you mentioned, South Dakota, my home state, where I've lived for 7 years, we just didn't shut down. We still had the fairs and the street festivals and the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, which is our residency every year.
Sure.
So we were very thankful for that. And in the meantime, we did a live stream on Brave Words, which is available only for my Patreon tribe to
Mhm.
watch the entire show at patreon.com/Ron Keel. We did a live stream show to end the tour, and we had 12,000 views that day, just during the live broadcast. And we would have to play, 3 or 4 or maybe even more shows to reach that many people at once. So the internet was my friend. As you know, my wife went through a battle with cancer a few years ago, and I really embraced the online platform on Patreon as a way to interact with my fans, my tribe, to entertain people, to do what I love to do, because I can't stop. If I'm going to sit at home, I'm going to bring my friends over to the house with me via the webcam and the microphone, and we're going to rock and roll.
I was gonna say it's quite literal that you bring your friends over. It's you invite that tribe into your home via the screen like we are now, and that's just one of the many things that you offer, and you just put yourself out there. It's a great thing. Like I say, anybody who's a fan, anybody that admires what you do will love the Patreon page. It's just one of the great things in my life, really.
I appreciate that. And I love taking the fans with me. It's like you said, it's a tribe. That's what we call it. And I can be myself. I can express myself in ways that I don't on social media. I don't talk about uh, a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I don't go YouTube and any of that stuff unless it's official video. But on Patreon, I figure I can just be myself and let fans know what I think with these audio blogs. We had one recently about vocalists getting older, and I spoke about
Yep.
my friends and my peers, and I'm not throwing shade on anybody like Vince Neil or Don Dokken or the trouble that John Bon Jovi was having on his that's no secret. I mean, those video clips are out there, and uh what do I think it is, or how do I feel about it? Stuff that I would say to my family, but that I wouldn't say on social media. I've got
Mhm.
what 40,000 Facebook followers combined, and 11,000 Twitter followers, and so forth. And there's stuff that I just won't say because those people aren't. They might follow me, or they might be my friend on Facebook,
Right.
but it's different with the Patreon tribe. I feel like I can play the new Keel song for you guys, and I'm really tempted. I know I put up a 1-minute sample of
Do it.
the new Keel song, and that one, Moving Target. I'm really, really proud of that. Written by Mark Ferrari and myself for the new album. I just put up a 1-minute snippet, and I'm so tempted to just give you the whole song because we're really proud of it. So it could happen any day now. I might have a
uh,
couple of beers and just hit. Well, just upload that son of a bitch and let it go, man.
Drink up, Ron. Drink up, man.
You never know.
Yeah, and that's another great thing is we don't know what we're gonna get, and it's always something really cool. Even that 1 minute is just so great. It's and you'll post a demo. Who does that? It's not even ready. You don't. It's for friends.
But yeah, it's my
You know,
my sisters and brothers. My
yeah,
literally everybody on there. We've got 460 members now, and they are my sisters and brothers. It's a family. And that's what I
yeah,
would do if I came home from the session with the CD or a download. I'd play it for my family. Say, hey, check this out. This is what I did today.
yeah.
So really, it's literally just me being me with sharing stuff that I'm excited about with people that hopefully enjoy it.
Yeah, and we do, man. Believe me,
Right
it's
on.
great. It's very cool. Now you got RFK Media. It's the new company, new label. And it does a few different things than a record label would, I think. Explain to us, what are the ins and outs of RFK? And I know that how it came about is a sad thing with Bill and Lori Chavis passing from COVID. Take us through the process of what RFK is doing for you.
Well, my life is a chess game, Scott, and I'm always trying to figure out what's my next move. And I want to win. At the end of the game, I want to come out victorious. What's my best move? How do I achieve my goals for the rest of my life and my career? And the best thing to do was to get out of the back seat and take the wheel. It is a huge challenge. It's not a hobby label. It's not a I'm a professional, a businessman, and it is a serious task. I have learned a lot the last 6 months since we launched RFK Media. We've signed a new band called The Fifth, and I don't know when you're going to share this or broadcast this, or do I have 3 hours of headroom? Can I make a big announcement and you can keep it under your hat until 1:30 this afternoon? Well,
Absolutely.
we're just about to announce The Fifth, featuring Roy Cathy, lead singer from Cold Sweat, who is a dear friend of mine, and I'm a huge fan of this band and Roy and what he does and what they do. And we have just confirmed them to appear on the Kiss Cruise this October. We're announcing that later this afternoon. Really, really excited about their new album coming out next year on RFK Media. We are signing another. We've got our next artist lined up and the deal is done. We're not announcing that until October 15th, but I've got my hands full. Where there used to be lyric sheets on my desk, now there's spreadsheets everywhere. The office is over. This is the fan cave. This is where this is all the gifts from all the fans throughout the years. Our fellow tribe members, Sharon and Sandy, give them some love. I mean, everything you see here in this room was given to me. These are all gifts from fans. But the office is an absolute mess because there's so much. I learned a lot about the business the last 40 years, but the business continually changes. And in the digital age, how do you market something without an immense budget? I mean, it's going to cost you $250,000 to have a hit single on mainstream radio.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of resources. So we have to be very, very creative, and we have to work extra hard. For Ron Keel Band, Keel, our artists and all that, you know about the Keel World album, which we're putting together with new music from Keel, Steeler, Ron Keel Band, and so forth. Signing a very exciting, fresh, new band. We're announcing that October 15th to RFK Media. And as part of that, I would like to branch out into art. As you know, my wife, Renee Keel, is an artist. We're going to publish a book of her art. We're going to republish my book, Even Keel, with new added content. And I'm going to correct all the grammatical and spelling errors that I did.
There wasn't many, I got to tell you.
Oh, man. I was reading the audiobook, literally. And that's part of the Patreon experience. The first 13 chapters, I think, are available as an audiobook. And I'm reading through the audiobook going, man, I got to fix this. I got to fill in some of the blanks and go into more detail about some of the stories, eras, bands, projects that I didn't expand upon in that original version. So we're going to re-release the book next year with new added content. I'd like to get into anything that's media, whether it's obviously KRFK radio is a big part of that, having our own station with it's krfkradio.com with Eddie Trunk, Dee Snider, Joe Elliott. The lineup of syndicated programming that we've got is incredible. So really excited about that. That's a lot of work too, man. I'm never going to catch up. I will leave this world with a long to-do list, but I'm going to have fun trying to do as much as I possibly can while I can.
I sit there and I go, how does he do all of this stuff? I mean, it's just crazy. And your radio show is fantastic.
Thank you.
Really, it seems so high budget. It's so well done. And it's long. You know, it's not a 20-minute segment or, anything like that. It's, you have an hour-long show. and it's all it's
It
just
only
so
takes me
much
6 hours to produce the thing.
time.
You know, you do the interview, as you know, you're in the same boat. You do the interview and you got to do your research. And even if it's an artist that you know or that you're friends with, you got to get
Right,
familiar with, and you got to find those compelling questions and build the interview in 15 minutes or less that's going to really entertain people and give them something new. The artist wants to promote their new product and they don't want to tell their life story all over again.
right.
And then you've got to build a playlist around that, take care of the advertisers, the transitions, and it is a huge challenge. But it's a creative effort for me. The building the radio show is like, oh my god, it's like you're climbing a mountain every Tuesday. I wake up and go, oh god, it's radio day, and I gotta put this whole thing together. And you're looking at the foot of the mountain, going, man, how am I going to do this? And then when it's done, you really feel like you've done something. You created something
Definitely.
special, and the response to the fans has been amazing. KRFK Radio now has over 25,000 favorite listeners, like listeners who call it their favorite station on the TuneIn Radio app, which to me is incredible. And I think we're reaching about 30 to 40,000 people a week with that radio platform, and some great sponsors that help make that happen. So it's 12 full-time jobs at least. I haven't counted how many full-time jobs I have, but I don't want to know. I'm just going to try to do the best I can. And then on days like this, I put the guitar away and get away from the desk and just do the interviews and catch up with my friends like you.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. We appreciate it. Now you've lived in Nashville, you've lived in Hollywood, Las Vegas for like 10 years, right?
10 years in each, 10 years in Nashville, 10 years in Hollywood, 10 years in Vegas.
And now you're in South Dakota. And I hear a song like When This Is Over, and I think, could he have written that when he was living in Hollywood? You know, it's just so not Hollywood. So tell me, does where you live have an influence? Could you have written When This Is Over when you were in Hollywood? Is that, or is that, does the atmosphere and where you are have a
No,
lot to do?
songs like this come from experience, trying to perfect your craft as a songwriter and trying to keep the bar high. You know, I've written some songs in my life, The Right to Rock, Just Like Tennessee, Wild Forever, songs that really set the bar at a certain level. And this is the first new song that I've released, a new original song that I've released in a couple of years. And I think that comes from maturity, from knowing how to capture those moments and those feelings and emotions and channel them in the right direction. It's really, it's songwriting. It comes from the heart, not from your zip code.
Yeah. Yeah, see, and that it really does. And the story behind that is another great one. A message from a fan. I hear the lyrics to the song, and of course, a lot of people see it as a COVID thing. But it's not, is it?
It's not, and it should have been, because I go back to that phrase, when this is over. And I remember the day that we all knew the pandemic was for real, spring, March of 2020, just as we got back from Australia. And we thought, this is serious. We better go to the grocery store like everybody else and stock up on toilet paper and everything else. I mean,
Right.
so we went to the grocery stores. The first time we were all social distancing and can't get within 6 feet of anybody. And it was that the world changed that day. It was like the day that we knew that this was serious.
Yeah.
And I ran into a friend of mine at the grocery store. And normally we'd shake hands and chat for a minute, and then we'd go about our shopping. This day he had this look in his eyes like panic, and he didn't want to get near me. And he said,
Right.
I'll talk to you soon when this is over. And he said those 4 words to me at that point. It didn't register on my radar that this is that serious. 2 years later, I get an email from a fan overseas. This is just at the trail end of the pandemic, before World War III started.
Right.
And he sends me this email that, we get those all day long. And I love getting the correspondence from the fans all over the world. And he said, he's a huge fan, loves what we're doing, and can't wait to see us on tour over there when this is over. And then those 4 words jumped off the page at me. It's been 2 years, man. Is it ever going to be over? Are we ever going to get back to normal? No, it's going to be a new normal just after 9/11 or after JFK was assassinated or after Katrina or any of these other
Right.
life-changing experiences that we all go through, whether it's the death of a loved one, losing your job, World War III, whatever. When this is over, we just want to get back to living life and enjoying music and friendship. And I want to visit my granddad.
It's so special.
Uh, and that's where that inspiration for the song came. And my guitar player, Dave, DC Cawthorn, was staying at the house. We were in the midst of the album recording sessions at the time, and he was asleep in the guest room. And I literally went into his room and I woke him up. Wake up, wake up. We're writing this song. We're going to write this song right now. And I drug him downstairs, put a guitar in his hand. And he started playing that acoustic intro. And I started pouring out words. We passed the notebook around. I said, what would you do when this is over? What do you, and we all shared in the other guys in the band started coming in and contributing. And it's turned into a really special song for me. It's not about the pandemic or World War III or any of that stuff. It's about everything. It's about whatever you're going through in life and the hope that when it's over, things are going to be okay.
Man, and it's touching. Speaking about your granddad in song and things like that. It's the video really super well done. Again, great video. It's just all these links are going to be down below. The link to the site, the link where you can get the single. You sign everything, of course. You give so much of yourself, Ron. I so appreciate you. I got a million other questions for you. We need to do this again. I know you got a busy day. Ron, thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. And there's always lots more to say, but as you know, most of the answers can be found at ronkeel.com or patreon.com/Ron Keel. If your audience wants to find out a little more and come along for the ride, we'd love to have them.
Absolutely, and they need to do that. The Patreon page especially is crazy. You got shows September 10th, 16th, 17th, New Year's Eve at home there. I will see you at Rocktember.
Awesome.
On September 10th. So, it is, I'm so looking forward to it.
That's a big one for us, man. We've been trying for 7 years now to get Ron Keel Band, establishing that credibility that people may want. They want Keel. They want to go back to the 80s, and my windshield is a lot bigger than my rear view. I like looking back, man. We just celebrated the 35th anniversary of our sold out run at Madison Square Garden, and all that. I love looking back and treasure the memories and the accomplishments. But the road ahead, if I take my eyes off that white line, man, I'm gonna crash and burn. So I got to stay focused on the future. That gig, September 10th in Hinckley, I'm glad you're going to be there. I can't wait to see you. We are finally getting accepted into that big festival circuit as Ron Keel Band. So we'll get to do When This Is Over, and we'll get to do Road Ready and some of the Ron Keel Band songs. You'll hear all the Keel hits: Speed Demon, Because the Night, Tears of Fire, Right to Rock, Rock and Roll Outlaw, Somebody's Waiting, all that. And we're on the bill with Tom Kiefer, Winger, Jackal, Stephen Piercy from Rat, Quiet Riot. It's going to be a great 2-day festival in Rocktember, and I can't wait to see you there. And hopefully we'll have a lot more of those to announce the next time I'm on your show.
Absolutely, man. I love you to death, Ron. Thank you so much. I will see you then. It's not that far away, man. It's very cool.
Really.
I'm excited.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, and keep up the good work, brother. I love you.
All right, man. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.